Volunteerism is a powerful way
to truly help those in need.
Throughout the world, UN volunteers are inspiration in action. UNV continues to promote volunteerism to tirelessly work with a wide range of UN partners for a better, more equal, and more just world.
We are
United Nations
volunteers.
A very warm welcome to everyone watching. I am Noor Al-Hakim, UNV Country Coordinator in Jordan. We are here today in World Refugee Day to talk about the work that UNV and UNHCR are doing to support refugees through the Refugee UN Volunteer Program, which is a joint initiative between UNHCR, the UN Refugee Agency, and United Nations volunteers. This program is engaging the refugees as UN volunteers to enable them to build on their competencies while also equipping them economically. Today, we have the pleasure of talking with some of people involved in the Refugee UN Volunteer Program, and we will learn more about the program and its impact. We have Csenge MONIGL, she's a Senior HR Associate at UNHCR. We also have our special two Refugee UN volunteers today with us. Thanks for joining. We have Israa Haki. She's serving with UNHCR here in Jordan as a medical doctor. We have also Prince Lokendo, who is serving in Malawi with UNHCR as assistant to the Global Appeals reports. So without further ado, we would like to give the floor to Csenge MONIGL, the Senior HR Associate at UNHCR, who will give us an overview of the Refugee UN Volunteer Program. Thank you. Csenge, over to you.
Thank you, Noor. It's a pleasure to be here today and to talk about the Refugee UN Volunteer Program, which is, as you rightly said, a joint initiative between UNHCR and UNV. Today, as we speak, the number of forcibly displaced persons in the world is more than 100 million. This is more than 1% of humanity. The world is witnessing an unprecedented level of human migration. This is due to war, famine, violence, political instability, and the effects of the climate crisis. The Refugee UN Volunteer Program came about as a way to offer opportunities to vulnerable refugee populations who, due to their uncertain status, often have fewer possibilities to participate in a formal way and to contribute to the labor market of the communities where they live. This great initiative facilitates their engagement as UN volunteers for assignments that require specific skills, knowledge, or insights within the local refugee community. And it is great now to have with us Israa and Prince to talk about their own experiences as Refugee UN volunteers.
Thank you, Csenge. Yes, indeed, it's great to be able to hear from two UN volunteers who are part of this initiative. Allow me first to highlight that Prince is living in camp and they may has like a difficult connection. So we maybe we will lose him sometime or hopefully not. So Prince, allow me to start with you. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and where you come from.
I'm a Congolese refugee living in Dzaleka refugee camp. For the past 21 years, my family fled away from war and insecurities in the Democratic Republic of Congo. We've lived in Dzaleka refugee camp ever since.
Oh, so you have lived in a refugee camp for most of your life. I can imagine that life in a refugee camp is hard, right?
Yeah. Definitely, life in the camp is not easy, but I've always wanted to make an impact. Therefore, sitting down and relaxing was not just an option for me. I knew that I had a voice and I wanted to help other people find their voices. I know that a refugee is not a group, or maybe being a refugee doesn't mean like you are just waiting for handouts, or maybe you are waiting for people to come and give you stuff. But I know that being a refugee, you become a part and parcel of the changes that is around you. So when given opportunities, I know that the refugees can also impact the world.
Yeah, thank you. This is very insightful. Israa, what about you? Can you tell us a bit about your experience?
I have some problem in internet.
It's okay. Yeah,
okay.
I can hear you.
You
can go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I'm Israa Saad Haki, a medical doctor. I was born in Baghdad I graduated from Mustansiriya University Medical College in 2012. I worked about 1 year and 9 months as a general practitioner in Iraq. You can hear me?
It was slow,
Yeah.
but now, yes, we can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yes, Israa?
Yes.
Hello, Israa? Yeah.
I graduated from yes, okay. I graduated from Al Mustansiriya University College of Medicine 2012. I worked as a general practitioner in Iraq about 14 months as a general practitioner in General Hospital at Baghdad suburbs, and also in a primary healthcare center about 6 months, also at Baghdad suburbs.
Yeah, thank you, Israa. You have interesting profile. Can you share with what made you come to Jordan?
After the war, there are many threatenings and conditions and assaults on primary healthcare providers, especially on doctors. Yeah, I left the country because because of these assaulting conditions. One day at my workplace, there was an explosive device at the hospital garage, and thankfully there was no people at the time of the explosion. So after all these harmful conditions, yeah, we decided to leave the country and came to the Jordan as refugee in 2014.
Yeah, oh, how terrible. I
And
cannot
also
imagine.
after we
Yeah.
lived here in Jordan in 2017, there was yes.
Yes, Israa, continue. In
Also there is
2017, you was
in
mentioned, yeah.
2017, yes. 2017, yes, there is my brother-in-law, yes, when my brother-in-law was tortured and killed for sectarian reasons.
Oh, sorry to hear that, and how terrible. Yeah, I cannot imagine how hard that must be, right? And
Yes,
sorry to hear about your brother-in-law.
yes.
Well, both of your circumstances are tough, and you have had difficult lives. We feel you. Well, we are interested more to hear more about you. So maybe Israa, you can you please tell us how you became a UN volunteer?
Yes, after COVID-19 pandemic, there was an agreement between Jordanian Ministry of Health and the UNHCR to accept the refugee medical doctors for support Jordanian medical doctors. So I became a United Nations volunteer at ER department and supporting the Jordanian medical doctor at that scene.
Yeah, looks amazing opportunity. Thanks, Israa, for sharing.
Mm.
And Prince, what about you?
Okay. I have a bachelor's degree in management and a liberal arts diploma in social work. Despite my qualifications, I cannot secure employment due to the very limited employment opportunities for refugees. There are many educated yet unemployed refugees in the camps. My first act of volunteerism was through promoting art. I was promoting dances and music to the local radio stations and also social media. I intended to put art on the front line so that I could change the narrative of refugees in the camps. I also volunteered with higher education organizations in the camp, where I coached younger students on how to progress with their studies. I also co-founded the Lukuluku movement in the refugee camp. I only wanted to build capacity to refugees so that they could be self-reliant at a point. I heard about the the Refugee United Nations volunteer through a friend, and I applied. Now I'm a United Nations volunteer, the first UNV volunteer in a refugee camp here in Zaleka.
Yeah, thank you, Prince. You have long volunteering experience, yeah? And thank you both. Actually, it's very interesting to hear from you, and you have been offered these opportunities to serve with UNHCR. And what do you do in your assignment as UN volunteers? Israa, you can go first. Israa, you're still with us? Oh, we're sorry. It seems like a connection problem.
Yes, connection
It's okay.
problem.
Yes, you are here with us again. Okay, you can start, Israa. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. What's the question was?
Oh, sorry. I was asking, what do you do in your assignment as UN volunteer?
Yes. As a United Nations volunteer, medical doctor, I receive the patient, take medical histories, conduct examination, request medical labs, and manage the patients. So I gain an experience at my duty at ER department, good experience.
Yeah, looks great, actually. Thank you. And Prince, what about you?
In this position, I creatively find ways to reflect refugee voices in the major publications called Global Reports and Global Appeals. In UNHCR, I drafted a story that is called Telefonsa, and it has been it shows the journey of a refugee from their country of origin to the encampments, which has been turned into a series of illustrations, and it has been used in the flagships in 2021 global report and also on the microsite. I believe that this story might change the way people see refugees.
Yeah, thank you, Prince and Israa. You obviously both bring invaluable skills. I have one more last question, please, if I may. Would you encourage other refugees to apply for this type of UN volunteer assignment? And Prince, you may go first.
Yes, certainly. I would encourage refugees to apply for these opportunities once they are available, because I know that volunteerism is not just a simple thing, but once there's opportunities, and I see that the refugees, they have potential to to volunteer, and also they have skills, they have potential to do that. Once given opportunities, I would encourage them to to really apply for these opportunities, because refugees are capable of becoming change agents in their own environments, and also they can change their lives and also the lives of people around them through volunteering.
Yeah, thank you, Prince, so much. Israa, what about you?
Yes, I think of course, yani, I encourage all refugees to volunteer and participate in the community, because the community where they live, because that way we can make a difference. And yani, as a medical doctor, I feel very rewarding as contributing as doctor in the community. And especially when I see the gratefulness in the patient in the eyes of my patients and their families. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you both, Israa and Prince, for sharing your very humbling and inspiring experiences. I realize that it must not be easy to talk about some of the things you have been through, right? And so we are really appreciate your willingness to be here today with us. Now we are coming to the end of our chat, but before we close, I would like to give the floor again to Csenge for some final words. Over to you, Csenge. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Noor, and thank you very much, Israa and Prince. It's been indeed very touching to hear from both of you. And for us at UNHCR, it's great to see that through volunteering, you are making key contributions to your host communities. While you're still building competencies, you learn new things, and you have access to income generating activities to support yourselves and your families as well. UNHCR and UNV started this initiative in 2018, and we are very happy to be able to offer a pathway to professional engagement to skilled refugees and to promote refugee empowerment through volunteers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Csenge. We are also very happy with this initiative. And indeed, Jordan was the first country in the Middle East and North Africa region where Refugee UN Volunteers serve. And currently, we have two groups serving. One as the refugee medical doctors. This group consists of 10 medical doctors who are supporting Ministry of Health in COVID-19 treatment as part of the emergency response plan. And also the second group consists of 2 electrical engineers who are supporting the energy projects at the camps here in Jordan. So we witnessed that this type of engagement has allowed the volunteers to engage in income-generating activities and to participate as legitimate and capable actors in the development of Jordan. Well, everyone, we are now at the end of our live chat, and we would like to thank everyone for watching and sharing their comments. If you have any questions for UNV or UNHCR, please write them as a comment, and we will answer them through our social media. Thank you, everyone, again, and goodbye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Volunteerism is a powerful way
to truly help those in need.
Throughout the world, UN volunteers are inspiration in action. UNV continues to promote volunteerism to tirelessly work with a wide range of UN partners for a better, more equal, and more just world.
We are
United Nations
volunteers.